Hi, I'm Ron Balicki.
And I'm Diana Lee in Santo.
All right, we're going to do some Filipino martial arts today. We're going to start with weapons versus empty hands.
But we should first tell them about ourselves, actually.
Okay. All right. I'm a Filipino martial artist, as I've said. I've been doing this for a little over 20 years. And I started with Diana's father, Dan Santo, and I later started training with the late Edgar Saluti in a system called Lameco Eskrima. Diana, she's been doing it since...
little girl, little tiny girl. Dad had me doing it around me 24 hours a day. By the way, in this program, we're going to be incorporating a lot of fundamental skills that you're going to be needing to basically incorporate for your training as an individual or in a pair situation or even a group or class situation, actually.
Okay, so let's start training.
Okay, before we begin, obviously, you're going to need at least a stick. There's other things that we usually add to our whole repertoire of equipment.
Soft sticks. We also use a lot of protection. You don't always have to use it. If you don't have it, it doesn't mean you can't do the drill. It just means take care and don't damage your training partner. But this is pretty good. It's got wood doweling in it. It's something that we use a lot. It can take a little bit of punishment. Okay. And hand protection is always a good idea, too. So what we're going to start with right now is pretty much this for a beginner. We pretty much go into just a fully padded gear. As you get a little more experienced and you trust each other a little more, we kind of shed the gear and then just get into the training, and you learn to respect. You're not damaging each other then at that point.
But before we even begin to get to this, we're actually going to go over an angling system in which I'll be going over with you. It's from the Lameco Illustrissimo system. Okay, I'm going to go over some angles of attack. We're only going to be using 5 angles of attack. They come from the Lameco Illustrissimo system. We're going to start off with just one stick. So I want you to imagine a huge human-sized X, if you can picture that in front of you. So what you're going to do, this is going to be our angle 1, going down the X. Then we're going to come up, angle 2, going up the X. Then we're going to go to the other side of the X. Angle 3, going down the X. Angle 4, and then we have a thrust toward the center of the X. So again, I'm going to repeat that one more time. We have an angle 1, an angle 2, an angle 3, an angle 4, and an angle 5. Notice how I use my body. I don't just stand here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. I constantly try to use my body. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. I'm also now going to turn this around so you can see what I'm doing from behind. Okay, so again, hello. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5. And I'll do it one more time. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5. So that is your basic feeding system. And now, there are variations that you can do with this. Sometimes, like a sword, you can do this two-handed. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, turning it back around. Again, going down the X, coming up the X. Angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5. You can also do this with 2 sticks now. So you can go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, turning around. Going down the X, going up the X, going up the X, going down the X, and a thrust. You can also follow this through. You can go down, bring it up, bring it up, bring it down, and thrust. And usually we do it this way, thrusting 2 times. Again, following through. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5. Okay, sometimes when you're on the street, you may have to deal with somebody that might be left-handed, and I think it's very important that you train the left hand. So, again, following the same lines of attack, this is an angle 1 with the left hand, angle 2 with the left hand, angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5. Repeating again on those same lines, again, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5. So again, I can't stress how important it is to try to experiment and to using these basic lines, different types of weapons. You can also utilize the knife, you can also utilize the sword, but it's also very important to train both the right and the left-hand side. As a little girl growing up, my father used to always explain to me that you need to prepare, because particularly sometimes also if you have to use these lines of attack, that maybe perhaps you may get injured on your right hand. So then you have to go to your left hand. So again, try, if you can, as much as possible to utilize and train both sides.
Okay, now we're going to move on to footwork. It's not the most fun thing to do in martial arts, but you need it. It's what's going to keep you safe. If you have no footwork, you're just going to be just a sitting duck. So let's just do a little bit. We're going to do just a basic pattern. Now I've laid out some sticks on the floor here. This is what we call the hourglass. We break the hourglass into two triangles. The forward we call a female. The reverse we call male. So on the female triangle, I want you to step out on a 45-degree angle. Just lower your center a little bit, not too low, but just step out on a 45-degree angle, step back. Then just step the opposite way, 45, step back. So if you look at this first triangle, I'm doing the top half. All right, the female triangle intercepts. Step out 45, 45. This is what you want to put your beginners at, right here. So they just get used to like just veering away from the angle or from the oncoming attack. Okay, you don't have to spend too long on it, just give them the idea and then move on. All right, so now we're going to go reverse of that. We're going to step off 45, 45. This is the male triangle, so we come to the point. So 45, 45. So right here, again, spend a little bit of time. You don't have to spend too much. You'll see, it doesn't look like it's tiring, but that low squat starts to burn people's quads a little bit. All right, so we're going to come back. Center. Now we're going to do the full triangle. I step off 45, I step to the top point, which would be right here. Step back 45, then I'm back. So it goes 1, 2, 3 back. 1, 2, 3 back. I'll just do this for a second for you. Your feet should actually never come together and then go. At the start, it's okay. If you want to get your student going, have them come back. After he's comfortable, take that away from him and make him switch out. Okay, then we go back. So I'm stepping back on the 45, step up. Okay, after they feel comfortable with it, have them go the other opposite direction. Go back. Good. Now, we're going to do the full hourglass. So now if you look, right here, my rear foot's representing this mark. My front foot is in the point, the center. All right, so I'm going to step slide. Step up. I'm up at that point now. Step to the center. Step slide. Step back. Good. Now, let's just step forward, step back on the opposite direction, and we're doing the opposite side. Good. Okay, that's about it. So just to recap, we go 45, 45. We go the reverse 45, 45. Do the full triangle. Okay, you can go the opposite way. Rear triangle, full. Opposite way. Full hourglass. Both directions. Okay, so if you want to reverse the direction, just go up and go down the opposite line. And that's it. So that's your footwork. It's not too much, it's not too hard. It's good to start every class with a little bit of footwork, get them moving, get the blood going, and then just get into your training.
Okay, now we get to go into the fun stuff. We're going to start doing now our empty hand versus weapons training. Now, if you remember earlier in this program, I was showing you some angles. So right now, I'm going to feed Ron an angle 1, but actually we're going to review both the angle 1 line, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. But for right now, we're going to review just the high line. So I'm going to start off by hitting Ron with an angle 1, and he's going to showcase what we want you to learn for this drill.
So the angle is going to come in about right here. All I want you to do is lower your center. Remember the footwork. You're going to go on that 45-degree angle. So I step off, angle 1 right there. So one more time, 1. So it's going to pass it this way. If she's doing it with intention to hit me, I pass the stick. I've got to reach in and I pass it. Since I reached in, I want to explain this. If you can come in on the hand, we're always taught, if possible, grab the pad of the thumb. It's not always possible, but it's something you're going for.
By going after the pad of the thumb, you're breaking up the grip, and that's very important to understanding the basic premise of what we do, particularly in the LeMayco system.
Okay, so now as she goes, I pass it. One more time, pass it. Now she's going to come back at me with the backhand.
Which is an angle 4 line.
Right here. Okay, so again, 1, I pass it, and then she comes back 2, and I pass it. Now if you look, hang on one second, if you look at my footwork, I stepped up and I stepped back. So it's the same thing that I did with the sticks laying on the ground earlier. So we go 1, step back, 2, step in. So I'm just passing the stick. I try to get onto the hand right here. Okay, continuing on.
And this is angle 1 and angle 4, and angle 1 and angle 4.
Okay, time. So slowly, key points, I step in. It looks like I'm heading right for that stick. Swing. Hit me a little bit. Go.
And by the way, we're using a soft padded stick for safety reasons. It's actually great for training, so in case you accidentally hit your partner, they won't get hurt.
All right, so what I'm going to do is when she comes in, it looks like I'm on a collision course with the stick. Obviously, I move my body out of the way. All right, so I step 1, I come back, 2, I'm going underneath it. This is just a drill. Obviously, if she comes with a different angle, I've got to do something else. But just drill it right now. 1, 2.
Or actually angle
or
1
angle
and angle 4. Now I can keep a left lead. Sometimes I may switch, also like Ron, going into a male triangle, or I can just stay pretty much in a lunge position to help him train the passes.
And time. All right, so now she's going to come in right now with the number 3, which is right here. All right, obviously I can't get it up over me, but what I can do is I can step back out of the way of it and misguide it just a little bit. I don't want to step in anymore because I'll pull it right into my own face.
And that would hurt.
So step back, and then when she comes back, I step back and I raise it over. So come at me, intention to hit me, 1, 2. So I'm still using the pattern. Remember the pattern that I had. I had the triangle that's forward, the reverse. So right now I'm using the reverse. Give it a little bit of a lean back, help it over you. All right, so it goes back
angle 3.
right here, right here. This is not going to always be possible. It depends on your partner, depends on your opponent. If I came into Diana and I did it this low, she's not going to get under that. Yeah. But if it's a mid-body shot, she's got a chance of escaping it. Okay, so right here, I step back, step back. So if it's a mid-body shot, if it's a leg shot, I want to drop down. See it? I'm still using the reverse triangle, but I am dropping my arm down on it.
And again, I'm feeding angle 3 and now angle 2 on that X line.
Let me explain this to you. In LeMayco, Diana already taught you the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do the horizontal line. So sometimes it's up, sometimes it's on a flat line. So I have no idea what she's going to do. This is it's alive later. You can't determine what somebody's going to throw at you. So if she comes down on the 1, she might go here. Now she might just come up, or she might come flat, or she can come backhand, obviously, right? Or she, in rare instances, not even rare instances, but she might wipe back over her head and come back on the 1 line. The only other option she has, and we'll deal with this later, is a thrust. Okay, so low, medium, high. We know from the first one, when it went high, is I step in and I pass it, all right? If it goes low, I might want to drop back on the female triangle, on the male triangle, and pass it, okay? So when we go, after a while, Diana's just going to swing 1, see she can go 2, pass it here.
And I'm changing up the variation for the training.
In, pass it.
Right now, this is 1 and angle 2 line.
That's it. So if you look, I'm just stepping here and here for this line, okay? And if I had the triangle or the hourglass out, my foot's in the center, I'm at the point, and I'm just stepping back and forth. All right, so if she comes in, I can go 1. If she comes low, I can just go back. Go in 1, come low, go back. In 1, go low, in 1, go low. You got it? All right, so now we're going to put this together with the last one, the thrust, the angle 5. The 5, I drop down and I step out. Just put your hand here for right now. So you're just going to go right here and place your hand. One more time, 5 here. So now let's do the high line. I step in, she comes back in, I step in. Then she's going to go the horizontal or the uppercuts. I am going to step back. Now remember, if it's a mid-level, I can step back and raise it. If it's more at the knees, you're not going to raise it, just pass it. Then when she comes back, I pass it. Then when the 5 comes, you're going to drop the hand, step out, and go right here. I'm not going to go really into the stripping in this tape, but that is the ejection. Okay? So one more time.
Okay.
All right.
Off the
so
1 line?
off the 1.
Angle 1.
Angle 4.
Angle 4.
Angle 3. Angle 2. Angle 5. And let's get that ejection out.
If you remember earlier, the hand manipulations, very important.
Okay, one more time.
So,
high line.
High line.
The angle 4, the 3, the 2, the 5 drops in, I eject it. All right, important thing to stress, that I need to stress to you. My
So
footwork
important.
may change a little bit. It might not always be at the 45. Sometimes I will step out to the side or I'll step back. It's not, I cannot give you anything written in stone just for that reason. There are times.
Yeah, we're never married to the footwork. Just know that the footwork is very flexible, according to the energy that you might be confronted with out on the streets or even in a training situation.
The pressure is always going to be different. I might be really coming in to where she does have to get out of the way. Other times I might be a bit shallow. She doesn't need to get away. So it all depends on your partner and their
the
pressure.
Range too as well.
Yeah, the range also.
There's short range, there's medium range, and there's long range.
So there are times where Diana might come where I might step out to the side and say, oh, it'll miss me, or I might go back. But the basis at the start is just try to stay on the 45-degree angle lines. All right? I mean, it's just good training, just repetition. You need to do this over and over and over. Obviously, I mean, if I were a boxer and I were in a ring and I had no footwork at all, I'm going to be a sitting duck. Some guy's just going to just lay right into me if I'm just staying right in one spot. I need to be able to move, okay? And it's the same thing with footwork. I mean, not with footwork. It's the same thing with the stick, okay? Is you got to keep moving. You got to keep going, and that's what we're doing here.
Dad would always say putting it in muscle memory, actually. Yeah. Very important.
So, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I wasn't talking angles, I was just talking each numbered out, all right? So again, it's the angles, if we're counting angles, it's the angle 1, the angle 4, the angle 3, the angle 2, the angle 5. Diana can also feed me according to the numbers. Angle 1.
Angle 1.
She can come back with the low line now.
Angle 2.
2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's whatever way you want to put it together for your students, all right? It's really basic, and I know it's sometimes a little tedious to do, but if you could get somebody to just do this, it's easy. If you're an instructor of a class, tell them to do it. I mean, it's easy to get them to do it if a whole class is going ahead with this. You know, the energy will be there. It'll keep up. Everybody will do it. It'll become like a common everyday thing, like tying your own shoes before you go out. If you know when you come to class, this is what we're starting with, you'll get your students good. You'll get them on their feet, mobile, moving around. There are no solid, solidified answers in footwork. In our school, we don't scold you for doing it different. We applaud it if you didn't get hit. Okay, I mean, the important part is you got out of the way. And obviously, we want you to do it with skill in what we're teaching because we feel what we have has value. But if somebody eluded or evaded the strike, you know, good for you, you're not hit, and you just keep going. You tell them it was good, now try to do it the way that I'm showing you. You know, you're always going to have that one renegade who wants to do it his own way. You know, let him be himself. I mean, actually, the way we look at it, martial art is art. It's like if everybody sang Elvis songs, you know, you're not going to make $1 million like he made. Everybody's a little different. You got to do it your own way. That's the whole point of being an artist. So when we go, if the angle's low, if you get somebody stepping out, or if you get them stepping back, it's all good, as long as it's not touching them. Okay, so now we're going to move on to stop hits. Now this was what we considered passing. I passed all the blows that came at me. I just passed, I let the energy go by. Okay, so this is now just stopping it. So now if you can reach in and stop it, this is basic and simple, but if she gives it, if I could stop it, obviously I don't want to stop it on the stick. Okay?
That would hurt.
Makes sense. Stop it. So when she goes here, backhand,
and he's coming in close if you've noticed too. It's more short range.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay? So 1, and then the angle 4. On the low lines, this is where it gets tricky. Stopping it here is hard. So if it's a mid shot, can I use this? If I go right here or right here, this is tough for these blows. Anything, especially when the guy's going like that and whipping it up at you. So when she comes in at me, I've got to step and lower. It sounds crazy, but what it is like when she comes high, my torso and my arm line up almost like a fist away. Now if I go low and I don't lower my torso down to it, it's not. I straighten it, and if anything, I'm guiding
right in the stomach.
I'm guiding it right into me. So I drop my elevation. So then she comes back, drop my elevation. And then again, on the 5, right here, I drop it. Now, this is the nice thing, provided it's not a sword. Sometimes in rare instances, if it is the sword, when she comes in with the 5, I can go here. It's scary touching a real blade. But we do it. We stop, and then we can strip it, okay?
And we'll get to the stripping later on, actually.
Sorry?
We'll go more in depth with the stripping.
Okay, so with the 5, I could stop it. So let's start with 1. Let's do it in order. 1, the angle 2, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5. Now if you look, there's something that I'm doing. The angle 1, I'm doing a mirror image. So it's her right hand coming in,
and
my
notice
left
that
hand.
the range is closer too, versus from before actually. What'd you say?
All right, so I'm mirror imaging it. So she comes with the backhand, I mirror image the high line. If she comes low, I'm not mirror imaging it now. Now I'm going with my right. And then when she comes with the backhand, I go with my left. Then when she comes in with the thrust, I drop in. I like to be the outside of her. You can go here, but look what I'm facing. I'm facing that. It's kind of scary. So when she comes in with the 5, I pass it. Again, I'm here, or I can take it out here. So we go 1.
Angle 1.
The angle 2, I go with the same arm. Angle 3, opposite arm. Angle 4, same arm. Angle 5, same arm, and I can put my hand right in here, get the ejection. Okay? Last time, let's cover it one more time.
Here we go, angle 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 could be on the stick or on her hand. Okay? 1,
Angle 2.
2, 3, 4, and 5 here, or it could go 5 here. Either way. Let me repeat it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 can be here or here. If it's here, you go inside this way. If it's here, you just eject it out like that. Okay, so that's stopping the blow.
Okay, now we're going to do a drill called stop and hit. Ron is going to be feeding me angles 1 through 5, And similar to the previous drill, again, we're going to come in more close range. So,
all right, obviously she doesn't want to be at the business end of the stick. So if I'm swinging, she's got to get either in or out. So right now she's going to be brave enough to dive in. So when I go 1, she stops.
Close range.
Simultaneous.
And I'm almost wondering if we should probably turn it this way.
Okay.
All right, so
1,
and
she puts the hit in.
Hit, again. So stop, hit simultaneously. 1. Okay, next one on the high line, 2. Okay, again, stepping out.
Now, according to the pressure, she can either step out like she's doing or back on the 45. If I'm coming in, she's definitely going to go back. All right, right now, just because for training purposes, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on her. Okay, so 1,
Stop and hitting.
And then the angle 4,
and hit.
and she stops and hits. Now, if I did this on the low line right here,
Little different scenario here.
she is going to stop.
I'm going to pass it, stopping it from hitting me, and hit. Passing it, and hit.
So on the high line, she just stops it.
Boom.
She locks out. She locks out. On the low line, she will pass it and hit. She will pass it and hit. Now, if I went high to low, if I did a number sequentially, it would go 1, pass 2, pass 3,
hit.
stop, hit 4. Now the 5 comes, she's going to
Step out, and I'll hit, and I can disarm. But we'll get to the disarms in a different program.
Okay, so one more time. When the 5 comes,
And then again, it sets you up for a disarm. And there's many disarms too.
there are times where she might have to use her right arm to stop it. She still gets the hit. She just digs in.
And again, setting up for a disarm, which we will get to in another program.
Okay, so now let's do all 5 in order. So she's going to stop and hit.
On the low line. Passing it and hit.
Pass and hit. Stop and hit. Then she's going to block, grab, eject, or if it's the opposite arm, there. So again, actually, important part, you don't know which one's going to come in. If I thrust fast, whatever's closest is what's going to come out. It's going to be left or right. You can't tell. I mean, you can train for it and you can get it, but it's not always going to work that way. Your hand might be way out of range. So if she drops the left hand in, she goes directly to it. So do it super slow. She drops it, she grabs, she ejects it. But
And again.
if she's here, and no, the other hand, all right, she drops it, hits, and then she goes right back to the same position she was in. We have many strips. We're just limiting it right now for this program. All right,
Okay, we're
so
doing it again.
she's going to lock out.
Stop
1.
and hit.
See, this is really a stop
Passing.
and then a pass. I've been saying pass, and it's actually technically wrong. I already taught you the passes. This one is she gets the block, and then if she feels the force, she's going to hit through. Let me have this for 1 second. If she goes on a low line, and my intention is just to lock it out, but if I feel the pressure go through, I ride it through. That's where you could get the hit.
You're following the force.
Okay? All right, so we're going here. She is going to stop.
Stop and hit.
This one, she stops it, then she'll pass and hit. She will stop it, pass and hit, provided she feels that force go by. I'm not talking about like Luke Skywalker force, the force of the blow, okay? All right, stop and hit, and then the 5 comes, she blocks, there it is, okay? Or she will block with the other hand and then eject it.
And this doesn't necessarily have to be a hit. This could also be an eye jab. This could be a throat jab. This could be a thumb to the eye. But generally, again, you have the choice of hitting. And again, eye jab, throat, and again, even clawing the mouth. So you can put those variations in it.
This is, actually, it's a good point she brought that up. Right now, if I just did this, 1, and then the next one comes in, I go here, here, and I go here, here, and I go, here, okay, and then 5, here, here, and then in. All those are what we call pretty much naked techniques. Even though there is a strike going on, it's just a training drill. When I do this, 1, like I've done before, and then 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, this is all naked, meaning there's nothing dressing it up. She's not punching and kicking at me. She is giving me what we call it primero. It's the prime strike. That's all she's doing. I have nothing else to worry about but this coming through. And it's good at the start. You should do that. You should solidify. If you overload the student too much, they're going to blow it. They're going to give up. You know, you need to give them some success. After she, like if she's doing this and she becomes proficient with it, then later I go whoop like that and I'll throw it and she's got to react off of that. That's for another program. That's going to be later in this series. All right, but right now we just do the basics. One,
range.
Drop, pass it, hit. Drop, pass it, hit. Hit, and then drop. Up, you forgot to hit. You drop, she would hit, and then get the ejection in. Okay, so all of this thing put together is just very basic. This program right now is just the start. All right, well, you got the meat. Let's go, and we're going to start to put the potatoes in later. Okay, all right. So this is the meat of the course. I stop and hit. I drop, pass and hit. Drop, which is the stop, and then hit, and then stop and hit. Now stop, hit, and I can go. I can actually take it out this way also. We'll get into that later in our next program. Okay, so let's do one more time. Now when I pass on the 45, we just go right here. So I'm just still using the female triangle. Let me swing you around. All right, now watch this. So I pass it, and I pass on the 45. Pass, pass on the 45. Do you see that? All right. Now let me swing her around. High line. And okay. Now let me swing her around. Okay, so when it goes low, I step back on the 45. So this is the male triangle. Come in a little deeper on me there. And remember, if it's more of an angle about right here, I can literally lift it if it's mid-body. I've said this before. If it's low, don't try to lift it. You'll lift it into your own face. But if it's about mid-body, you can lift it up. Right there. Okay? Let me swing you back around and do that a couple times.
Okay.
I can go on top of it, or I can lift it. Stop, pass, stop, pass. Let me swing around.
Okay.
Okay, so get the stop on the high line. Stop on the high line. The low is a stop. You can pass it, stop, and you can pass it then. But get that initial stop first, okay? So high is a stop, stop. I can just stop it, or if I feel the pressure go through, do it again, please. If I feel the pressure go through, I will pass it. This is going to be a common thing that you're going to feel, is if you feel pressure continuing and you can't stop the force of the blow, you misguide it so it doesn't hit you. So when she comes in, I stop, let it go by. Stop, let it go by. When the 5 comes in, you just stop it, okay? Then swing around again.
Okay.
Stop, 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 and right here is I go on the stick here, or I can go here, but I try to stay to the outside.
And we should also probably do it with the angles, actually, in order of the angles too as well.
Okay.
As well. So angle 1.
So stop, stop, stop,
3, angle
stop,
4, and thrust
and
angle
I
5.
can stop in here and go, or stop in here and go.
And then going to the other side again. Same order of the angles that we taught.
Okay, stop.
1.
I stop, stop, stop. Then I stop it and I can grab, or if I stop it here, I just grab this way. Let me swing it back. One more time. Stop, it comes low, same hand. Goes low, same, opposite hand, same hand, then either right or left, and then go.
1, hit. Stop, hit. Stop, and hit. Stop, hit. And again, we'll go on to the next program showing how to disarm.
Let me put you over here.
Okay, so stop and hit, stop and hit, stop, hit, stop, hit, and pass, disarm.
Swing back.
Okay. Stop and hit, pass and hit, and then off the line.
All right, so that's now the stop and hit series. So you've got the pass series, you have the stop series, and stop and hit. It's a lot of info. It might seem a little basic for some of you, but just deal with it, you know, take it for what it is. You just kind of grin and bear it. Even professional baseball players still keep picking up grounders.
Yeah, and the more you do it, like I said, it goes into muscle memory. And so again, you just keep drilling it, and then you find that you'll be doing it, and like riding a bike, actually, it just becomes second nature.
The way I like to look at it is like if it's 9 o'clock and you were supposed to be at work at 8:30, you're running out the door. You're not thinking about tying your shoe, making like I need to cross it, pull, make a loop. You could do this running, and that's the idea of what we try to get to in this is we just try to just drill. And if you make a mistake, we just go on, right?
We make mistakes all the time in our training.
Not me, but
oh,
okay,
right.
So that's it. That's the stop and hit drill. Okay. All right, so now to close this whole thing out, this is pretty much a basic program. Just drill it. Again, I can't stress it enough. With your students, just repetition, you know it. My instructor always says, good, Ron, now, 2,000 reps and it's yours.
Yeah, and just continue to do this. And again, it will get into muscle memory. Like I said before earlier, it's like riding a bike. The more you do it, it gets ingrained, and pretty soon, you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah, it's going to give you timing. Like I gave the baseball analogy. It's going to give you that timing of when to enter, when not to. You're going to see the more you get to know it, you're going to start off this slow. After a while, it's going to be like that. And your partner and you'll build a rapport between you to where you know that you're not going to kill each other with it, but you're pressuring each other, you're stressing each other. And that's going to bring it out. I mean, just like in anything you do, you got to add some stress to it to get yourself to perform.
Oh, and one other thing too, again, if you're still starting out with this material, again, we recommend using soft sticks. Makes it much easier on your body and your partner too as well, so they don't get hurt. So.
Okay, and we're going to carry this on into the next program. We're going to start to put a little more into it. So
you'll see some real fun.
Yeah, you'll see in the next program. We're going to take it up a notch.